Now, if you guys follow along on the channel, you might have seen a little while ago, we went to Burns & Co. and there was a car, while there were many very expensive classic cars there was one that stood out to me. And my friend Mark at Motorvation, who you guys might have seen some of his cars on the channel, actually purchased that car. And here it is. It is one of the most unique cars that I have ever seen in my entire life. And Mark has very generously given us the keys to this. So let's have a walk around it before we go for a drive. So the front of it is VQ. So it's got a VQ Caprice grille, I believe like a VQ bonnet badge. But let's not ignore the obvious. It's full of grass. So what is the motivation for there being grass? Well, that is a good question. I don't really know. I don't really know, but they have been very consistent with this theme, even to the point where we have little water jets in the sills, and these actually function. We have some some teeing off turf and a limp golf club over there. If you haven't seen this car though, on the other channels, it may surprise you inside, because unlike the outside, which is a bit interesting, the inside is a real limo, appointed with VN Calais trim, done properly, air conditioning and cameras in the back, the works. This is a real VN limo. I mean, what more can you say about it? This particular one has a VQ Statesman rear end. Even though it's not really a Statesman, I guess it kind of goes along with that. I guess if we have another look in here, you can see some of our grass flip-flops there. I mean, what do you even say about this? Now, in terms of what car it actually is, I think it was a white VN Calais. And if we have a look in the engine bay, I'll show you. This car only has 60,000 Ks on it. So there is really very little kilometers on it. And there is our Buick, 60,000 Ks on it, Series 1. There you go, Series 1 coil pack. Definitely white under here, but we'll close this guy. Now, I did actually think that it was based on a Calais, but having a look in here, it says executive on the dash. We don't have climate control, and we have windy windows. We do have a VNSS steering wheel, like the VN Calais, but black, and we have all executive stuff here. So I do think it is actually executive. But before we go anywhere, I'll start the car. 60,000 K Buick. Gotta turn on the aircon because it is cooking in here. But have a look at this fancy screen. Now I can turn with this little dial down here. I can see, I can spin this guy, and we can change the cameras on the car. How cool is that? There's the inside of the cabin of the rear. We can also control the aircon that goes to the rear passengers, which we won't bother because we're going to suck it all up. So, there. And what else do we have here? We have an air horn. We can lock the rear doors. We can turn on the sprinkler. It also has air ride suspension, so I can raise and lower the car. But we're going to go for a drive. Now, usually I have my camera on my face, but today is a little bit different because I have never driven a limo before and I really want to focus. This is a one of a kind, frankly. There's really no other way of putting it. I have never driven this, so this genuinely is my first impression. Wow, this thing is like a bus. So I'm gonna it does feel big. It's weird because it kind of feels like a ute in here, and because I'm so used to driving VNs, it does actually kind of feel like a VN, which a standard size one, I mean. So Normally I'd be able to take this corner easily, but not today. No. And look at that, guys, we blend in with the grass on the road. Now I have driven some unique stuff, but this takes the cake by a mile. It actually rides pretty good. I never thought I'd get to drive a VN limo. We're not going to go too far. You know, I'm kind of scared of getting stuck. I've never driven anything of this length. It is, she is different, that's for sure. Absolutely. If you want something subtle, if you want a subtle limo, right, this is not it. Every time this car goes on the road, and fair enough, everyone will be looking at it thinking, what the fuck is that? So it's a funny thing. It really is quite funny. And honestly, not that this is the car that you would really do this for, it actually goes decent. The old Buick is working pretty hard. What an unusual thing. What's interesting about this car is just how well this has been done. The suspension, the sprinklers, the ridiculous air horn. I'm not really sure what more to say about it. It's very interesting. The one thing we were talking about, me and Mark, is I was just wondering, how do you, I guess anyone that would have a limo would have these problems, is how do you get this kind of car on a hoist? I've just noticed this disco ball too. This is a very funny thing. But it's also interesting that they've, I guess it's only got 60,000 Ks on it. I am a little bit scared of doing a U-turn. I'm not sure how exactly we're going to get back yet. This is, I've never experienced anything like this in my entire life. So a massive thank you to Mark at Motorvation Garage. I don't believe this car is for sale. It might be one day, but he doesn't normally sell stuff like this. He normally has very nice classic cars, EHs and XYs and GTs and Tiranas and all that kind of stuff. So go check him out in Holden, sort of near Dandenong area. This is, has been a really interesting time. It honestly, it kind of drives more normal than I really expected it to. But either way, thank you guys for watching along, following. Hopefully it's something that you did enjoy, and if there are any other VN limos or VS limos or anything else out there, let me know. Thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.